Hi, it's Scott Allen with my thoughts on this week's rugby, and I want to give you a bit of an update on how the Waratahs are going at the breakdown. Their performance in the last few matches has been a little better, but as you'll see in this video, they're still not getting into the breakdown early enough, and they're not accurate enough when they're cleaning out. The Tars are trying to play a wide game, but their forwards aren't working hard enough to get to the crucial wide breakdown. You can see here that the Hurricanes have already got 4 forwards moving wider than any of the Tars forwards. Rob Horne's tackled by the Hurricanes 12, but you can see there are already 3 Hurricanes forwards closer to the ball than Pat McCutcheon, who's the first Waratahs forward. Bernard Foley's there on his own, like a shag on a rock. And even though only one of the Hurricanes forwards decides to counter-ruck, and it's 2 Hurricanes against 3 Waratahs, the Waratahs are pushed backwards, and it's scrappy ball for McKibben. You can see as we cut to the wide shot that most of the Waratahs forwards have stayed in midfield ready to run the ball rather than get into that crucial breakdown. It's good to have those forwards there ready to run the ball, but first you've got to secure clean ball at the breakdown. Here's another example with the ball moved wide to Beetham. But you can see that there are 2 Hurricanes forwards already closer to the ball than Dennis, who's the lone forward for the Tars on that side of the field. Dennis ends up trying to stop 3 Hurricanes counter-rucking. Ulunya arrives late, but his only real contribution is to play the ball on the ground with his hand and give away a penalty. Another example with Foley running the ball back from a kick return. He's isolated, and you can see the Canes have got 2 forwards on their feet ready to go for the ball, whilst Hooper and Dennis are still quite a distance away. McKibben saves the day, but it's not establishing a good platform for the Waratahs to attack from. This time Dennis takes the ball into contact, and you can see the Canes have got more forwards around the ball than the Waratahs. There's also the issue of accuracy. Ryan's the first man in, he comes from the side, but he doesn't get rid of any of the Canes players. Chapman's in there wrestling away with little effect, and Ulunya joins late, but by then it's too late, the ball's turned over. You only get one shot when you go into the breakdown to get rid of the opposition players, and to do that you've got to be accurate. Here's an example. Mitchell's made a good break wide, and both Hooper and Dennis are nice and close in support, but now they've got to be accurate to get rid of the Canes winger who's made the tackle on Mitchell. They don't, he stays on his feet, and he's the player who comes back and tackles McKibben. You'll see then McKibben's under pressure, goes to ground, gets back up, doesn't release the ball, and he's penalised for it. If Hooper and Dennis had been accurate at the breakdown and cleaned that player out properly, he wouldn't have been in a position to come back and tackle McKibben. And now looking at the end-on shot, Hooper's the first man in, and you can see here clearly the Canes winger is the man they have to target, drive him off his feet out of the play. Hooper goes past him, Dennis gets a hold of him, but then lets go as he falls off his feet. By being inaccurate, he's therefore on his feet and can get in the game and tackle McKibben. And in the final example, Hooper takes the quick tap, catches his forwards unaware, and he's also going to go into contact too high. But look how many forwards the Hurricanes have got around the ball compared to those that have broken from the Waratahs scrum. Palu's the next man in, he comes from the side, but he cleans Barrett out, at least gets him off his feet and out of the game. Kepu's the next man in, Sevilla's already playing the ball, and again Kepu comes from the side, but is very ineffective at trying to get rid of Sevilla. Douglas is the next man in, but he's particularly ineffective. He's driven off his feet easily. Ulunya arrives, he's tossed aside, he's not effective. Palu's had to get off the ground and get in for a second involvement without any of the other forwards joining in. Of course, by then, the ball's turned over. It's all well and good to want to play a running game and keep attacking, keep the ball in hand, but you've got to control the ball at your own breakdown, or you can't play that sort of game plan.